Hello everyone. In this video we will be discussing advice. More specifically, who would best be in the position to give it. One definition of advice is recommendation regarding a decision or course of conduct. So when someone gives you advice, they are telling you what they think you should do in a particular situation. One purpose of Most Forum is to get as many people as possible to discuss ideas on how to handle certain issues successfully. The goal being to become wiser by learning from others so we don't have to experience anything negative ourselves. So sharing advice with others would be part of that. But advice isn't always welcomed. Depending on things such as who is giving it or how it's being given, how the advice is received could change dramatically. I think there are a lot of factors that actually go into this, and I'll try to go over some of them. I believe the main factor in who is giving the advice, as in where the people or person are on someone's hierarchy of influence. I made a video about hierarchy of influence that I'll provide a link to if you want to check it out. And what I mean by this is how much someone respects, fears, admires, or trusts the source of advice is a big determiner of how the advice will be taken. That's why people listen to certain family members, friends, news channels, celebrities, politicians, and completely tune out all others. Another factor that ties in is to who is giving the advice is who they are compared to the advice that they are giving. For example, a personal trainer talking about fitness, a dietitian talking about food, a mechanic talking about cars, a professional athlete talking about their sport, a dentist talking about teeth, and a doctor talking about health. Because someone may feel those people in those professions are more knowledgeable in those areas, it may make sense to them to listen to the specific advice that they give. The most common advice given is probably unsolicited advice. Unsolicited can be defined as given or supplied without being requested or asked for. Random strangers in person or online, family members, and friends tend to be guilty of this. They may say they are doing so out of concern for someone's safety, health, or well-being, as in they have the person's best interest at heart. But unless someone is actually seeking or asking for advice on a particular issue, they tend to be very closed off or irritated when others give it to them voluntarily. I've also noticed yet another factor in regards to who is giving advice. That is their experience with the situation in which they are talking about. This is kind of tied to the smart man versus wise man analogy made in my introduction video. In that video, I gave the example of a smart man being one that puts his hand over an open flame, burns himself, learns from his experience, and makes sure he doesn't do it again. A wise man would find the smart man and learn from his experience so the wise man doesn't have to make the mistake ever himself. So because the smart man experienced burning himself, he is in a position to advise others to avoid doing what he did. But what about the wise man? If he's the one giving the advice not to put your hand over an open flame, would there be a reason for you to listen to him? He never experienced what he's talking about. But does that make his advice any less valuable? This line of thinking raises a few other questions. Can men only give advice to other men and women only to other women? Can black people only give advice to other black people while white people can only give advice to other white people? Can a male doctor advise a woman on her pregnancy, or can only women who have gotten pregnant do so? Can only people who have experienced successful relationships, have experienced drug addiction, have been rich, have had mental health problems, have had certain diseases, or have been president give advice to people in those situations? As always, I'm not trying to tell anyone what to believe or how to think. Feel free to agree or disagree with the things that I've said. I know I've just listed off many questions, but there are some other questions for the viewers specifically. So let's say you are seeking advice. What matters to you when determining whether or not you will listen to someone's advice? Does the person's experience with the situation make a difference to you? Would you rather listen to someone's advice telling you what to do or what not to do? Do you think a person has to be a professional in a certain field to give advice on a specific topic? Is unsolicited advice ever worth giving or receiving? So I thank you for tuning in to Most Forum. Feel free to like or dislike the video, subscribe, share, and comment. I'll be looking forward to what you all have to say. So let's continue to grow and improve and get wiser every day. And until next time, take care.